She wasn't bad with money. She was playing small in her calling and her business. And today, I want to share with you what shifted when striving stopped and trust took its place. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Reina, Biblical Money Mindset Coach, aka the Fun Money Coach. And I help Christian female entrepreneurs earn with peace, sell with confidence, and steward their calling with joy by transforming their relationship with money with God's word. So hello, Lee, and for sharing your experience with the one-on-one work that we did together. So as we start, can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your business?
Sure. So my name is Lee Bartram. I live in Christchurch, New Zealand. So same country as Raina at the bottom of the world. And my business is I work as a standout strategist, career coach. I help midlife women who are stuck gain confidence, clarity and strategy to stand out and land their next role.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So before we work together, how would you describe your relationship with money in your business and what were you struggling with at the time?
So my relationship, I was pretty good with money. I was managing my money. I was saving money. But what I was struggling with was I didn't know I was struggling until we had that clarity call. And I thought I was doing okay. And what I realized, I had a strong mindset around our finances. But after having that debrief and clarity session with you, after completing your quiz, I realized that I had fears behind my fears. And that was the thing that really you articulated my problems back to me. And I wasn't able to identify them. But I realized in that call that it was my fears that were holding me back from really fulfilling God's purpose in my life. And I felt that you really got me and that you understood me.
Thank you very much. Yes, I really love those clarity calls to help you clarify what could be holding you back. So what would you say have helped you say yes to investing in coaching, even though there may have been fear or hesitation?
Well, I'm a coach as well, so I know the value of being coached. But I also wanted to work with a Christian coach. So for me, that was really important. And what I found in the conversation was you mirrored things back to me in our conversation that I resonated with, and it made sense for me to invest in you. So I didn't really have a question. I was totally in from the moment we ended that call, before we even ended that call. And we know each other from a business mastermind that we're involved in together. And we've built that know, like, and trust. So yeah, I didn't even know that I needed you until we did that call.
Oh, thank you. Yes, the Lord was working.
Yeah, he was hugely. And it's beautiful watching that path because he's brought me along this journey and he put you in my path right at the perfect time, as you know.
Yes, I know. So if you had to summarize your experience in a few words, how would you describe it?
In a few words? Well, I think it's been an incredible journey these last 3 months with you, your accountability, your support. I feel like you've given me structure and you've pulled back the veil on what that fear is behind the fear. And we've unpacked a lot of things that needed to be unpacked and addressed to give me that clarity and build the confidence. So the habits that I'm developing, like I love the grace and prayer start and end to my day. So I love that. So it's just been some really nice things that you've helped me develop, and I'm getting more. I'm not perfect, far from perfect, but we don't have to be perfect. It's really about showing up and doing some of the things and starting that process, but becoming more reliant on God and trusting Him and having the faith in Him. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Talking about that, what is the biggest shift and transformation that you have experienced during that time together?
Yeah, really powerful question, that one. Yeah, I've been pondering that actually. So I guess there were several for me, but the biggest one was where we created my exit strategy for the contract role that I do. And we did the exit strategy. And then we had a group coaching call, and I came away knowing from that I needed to resign from my contract role. So the process has given me this structure and the mindset to shift to confidently resign, which I did Wednesday, a week ago. Yay! But I had some financial goals that I had been working towards already, and I had achieved those goals. And there's a couple of financial goals, so I have achieved those. And then, of course, I've resigned, as you know, and I've just had this huge release of joy and excitement. And for me, that had gone a very long time ago. So it's been a rough 5 years for all of us around the world, and it hasn't got. Yeah, there's been lots of challenges. So I now know that I couldn't go into 2026 with that hanging over me. So now with my renewed mindset, in my faith that the Lord has totally got me with the scriptures that support it, that's been the hugest thing for me.
Oh, yay. That's so beautiful. And I love those
Yeah.
exit strategy because with me, as you know,
Mm.
we are looking at the number, if this is where we need to go, but we're also looking at what could hold you back from actually taking any action and any step. So thank you for sharing that. And what do you believe played the most significant role in helping you with that shift?
So it's coming back to you in some ways because you asked me really powerful questions. So, and at times you challenged my thinking, you rattled my cage, but you had already drilled down. You could see the fear behind my fear before I could see it. I knew I had it, but you labeled it for me. So, and the way that you supported me with those customized worksheets, would come to a session, I'd complete the prep questions that you would send to me. And with that came insights, and there were scriptures that would totally supported me the whole way through. So you really helped me partner with God and no longer do things on my strength, but instead walk with him. And that, I guess that's quite connected to the transformation, but it was really through your powerful questioning and your system and your process that you took me through.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
exactly what happened when we stop striving. We have a structure. We have a coach, as you know, that can help you articulate what is holding you back because we have blind spot, right? Like we are blindsided by our own,
Mm-mm.
habits and fears. And so I believe what you just mentioned is the impact that now you can see in the way you show up, in your finance and your day-to-day decision will be for you partnering with God. Is that right?
100%. 100%.
Great. No more
Yeah.
striving on your own strengths. That's a huge win.
No. And I get the cringe factor when I see people talking about striving and hustling, and I just want to talk to people, and most of these people are secular people, they haven't got a faith. So all they know is striving and hustling. And yeah, and that was one of the reasons why I couldn't stay in my contract role, because a global organization who are very striving mentality purchased the company I contracted to. And I was like, well, this is totally out of alignment. So let's go, God, let's do this. So timing's perfect.
Yeah. So, what did you find the most valuable working with me one on one?
Well, I've kind of already touched on this, but your powerful questions, you gave me accountability. You kept probing until we reached that fear, and you supported me. You really held me firmly in your grasp. And through those difficult times, you supported me through where I was really going deep. And there were tears sometimes, but we also had lots of laughs. But really cool thing was that you supported me, you believed in me, and you really held that space for my growth, which I really treasured, because it's so important to have that space for a client, right, as a coach.
Yes, absolutely. I always try to be
Mm.
a safe space for you to
Mm.
articulate the pain, the fear, sometimes the shame, but we need to face them. We need to have the awareness of them so that we know what the problem is. And then from that starting point, we can make the changes we need to make with the Lord guiding our step. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for sharing. What would you
it's
say
all
to
right.
someone who knows they are called to more in their business, but feels something is holding them back from investing in their transformation?
Yeah. So what's the cost of not doing it? It really comes back to your return on investment, right? Around growth, but also having the finances. So sometimes our mindset can take us out of the game because we're coming from a scarcity mindset. It might seem like a big investment. Well, I'd say get honest with yourself. That's what I did, and I went for it. And everything you said resonated with me. So I'd say if everything resonates, it lines up, don't hesitate, sign up and go for it, because this has been life changing for me. It really has. So, and I didn't think I needed this program, Rainus. So just saying. But tell you what, I totally needed it. And I really knew that on that clarity call that we had.
Yes, thank you for sharing that because many people think that they need to be bad with money to work with me when it's not the case. I often work with people who have a great, stable finance, but they still
Yes.
play small, still striving, still not trusting God fully for their next step. And this is where transforming your relationship with money and shifting your mindset with His Word can be so powerful in doing what you know you need to do to be obedient.
Mm-mm. You just called me out then. You just described me when you said who else this program, like finances are all good, but it's all those other things. And we're not here to play small. We're here to fulfill our purpose that God has put us here. And it's really showing up now for me that through doing this program, I'm getting so much more clarity. Opportunities are opening. And it's like, wow, God, we're doing this. This is really happening. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how hard a time you've had or what stage or season of life you're in, God's always going to show up and He's going to bring you to that and fulfill that purpose in each person's life.
Yeah, absolutely. And as my last question, is there anything else you would like to add or share?
Well, of course, I want to thank you so much for your belief in me and the support, but I honestly feel like a completely different woman. I've got more confidence in myself. I'm more accepting of myself. And biggest thing has been my relationship with the Lord feels, way greater and deeper. And it's, whilst I'm far from perfect, I actually look forward to hanging out with Him. And I'm also looking at my schedule for next year. I'm really excited to dig in and get my schedule around, and obviously with more free time and now having space to build my business. This has just been perfectly timed, and I'm really so grateful to you, Raina. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure working with you, and you have been vulnerable. You've done the work because what I'm asking sometimes is not easy. So you were courageous enough to do the deep things that I'm asking you to do, to dig deeper. So I really want to commend you for your courage for that. And thank you for trusting in yourself to invest and trusting that I could be a good guide for you as well in this journey. So thank you again very, very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, and take care.
Bye.
Bye.